force your hand. We're gonna do Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt. We're gonna get it in. We're gonna take our time and go through it track by track. One thing I can say about this particular album here, that this was his life plan. You know, more so than any other album I think he put out. This was his manifesto.
No doubt. No doubt. I mean, he basically helped you understand from the very beginning of this first album drop that he did how he basically perceived himself, how he figured that the world perceived him, and what he wanted out of life. So he takes you through that introspective journey that we all go through in life when we're trying to figure out what direction are we going to go in. Or am I going to take this path, or I'm going to take that path? And he basically breaks it down as to why he didn't take certain paths, why he took paths at certain times in his life, and what path he has set up for his future. Right. So it's a really great album from that perspective, that he gives you his past, he gives you his present, and he gives you his future.
Right. And we talked a little bit offline, right? But this particular album got me as well because, you know, he laid down, and we'll get to the track where he talks about it and defines it, but he laid down specific rules. I mean, nobody really knew who Jay-Z was when he was making this album, you know what I mean? But he laid down rules that he was going to live his life by, and by and large, he stuck by them. And we'll get to the track, you know, where he talks about that. All right, let's start with track number 1, Can't Knock the Hustle. John, I know this is you. I know you don't like this track. I know it, right?
Well, let me just get this out front right now.
Okay.
I hope I don't overuse the words in the following order. This is my favorite track. I hope I don't overuse that.
Yeah.
Can't Knock the Hustle. I mean, it's the first track on the album, so you know, it's definitely a good jumping off point.
Okay. All right, so the producer of this track is Nobody. I mean, that's literally his name, was Nobody. Intoxicating beat, you got Mary J on the hook. You know, one thing I want to say, you know, again, this is for each of the tracks. I mean, decoding Jay-Z is like algebra, right? I mean, if you wanted to put the time in, it's like doing algebra in school, trying to figure out what Jay-Z, all the different meanings and, you know, double meanings that he was putting into his lyrics. So this was very, you know, challenging to say the least. I mean, going back through these tracks and trying to understand what Jay was talking about, doing it this way is a lot different than when I first heard it back in '96. I mean, really paying attention, really digging into the lyrics to find out what he was really meaning.
Right. And basically, you know, he's, again, just helping people understand from the very beginning, just the title of the song, You Can't Knock the Hustle.
Right.
The very title. So what he's basically saying is, don't judge me for how I got to get it in my life.
Yeah.
So however I get to my end goal, you can't knock my hustle. And he starts it off with, yo, I'm making short-term goals when the weather folds. Basically, you know, these short-term goals, and any successful person will always tell you that they would write down a goal sheet, what they have, you know, a 1 year, a short-term goal plan, a long-term goal plan, in order to understand how, in order to help them as a roadmap get through their life.
Right.
So when he says, I'm making those short-term goals, he's letting you know from the very beginning, I have to set a plan for my life from, you know, 3 months, 6 months, a year, on and down the line, because this rap game is going to take me where I need to go, but I got to start, you know, on first base, so to speak.
Right. I like what he said. You know, it's like he's saying the playing field is not even. You know, you can't understand what it is I'm talking about if you don't have the same obstacles that I have in life. So, I mean,
Right.
when I first heard this song, it was like, I thought this was like an, you know, almost like an explanation. You know, like he was explaining himself, why he chose this life. But I don't think so, man. You get to the end, you know, Jay is basically saying, this is the way it is. This is just the way it is. You know, take it or leave it. Is it right or wrong? This is the way it is. You don't understand? Then fuck you then. He says right at the end, fuck you even. He's talking to us.
Yeah.
He's talking to us.
Oh, yeah.
The listeners, you know what I mean? I was going to say, you know, for me. And again, you know me, I get stuck on lyrics, right? I get stuck. And take it right back to the beginning of the song. You know, she said, shopping sprees, cop in 3. Deuce Fever IS is fully loaded. You know, when I first heard that, I was like, wait, what? What are you talking about? Then you go back and you listen to it again and again and again. He's talking about that 325, right? The BMW IS.
Right.
You know, fully loaded. That's how I'm
Exactly.
moving. That's how I'm moving. You know, I mean, just decoding, just, you know, the simple lines like that. I mean, it's just, you know, amazing how he's able to, how his brain works like that. You know what I mean? To put those references, to put those double meanings into his lyrics.
No doubt.
At my arraignment screaming, all we got is sports and entertainment until we even. Thieving as long as I'm breathing. Can't knock the way I'm eating. Fuck you even.
Exactly.
You know, he's talking. I mean, that's the thing that kills me about this particular track. He's talking to us, the listeners. Like, you didn't heard everything that I'm doing. You didn't heard it all. You know what I mean? If you want to judge me, then fuck you.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Ridiculous.
And he's even telling you, you know what I mean, when you get down into verse 3, he tells you right at the beginning of verse 3, y'all niggas lunching, punching the clock. Basically, I'm out here. He tells you right then and there what he's about. He's about entrepreneurship.
Right.
He's telling you that right there. You want to go, you want to work for somebody else, you know what I mean? That's like paying rent to him. You know, why pay rent when you can pay a mortgage? You know what I mean? Why help somebody else be successful when you can help yourself be successful? You know what I mean? But that's the way you want to go right ahead. He said, my function, you know, is to make much and lay back munching. Basically, I want to make a ton of dough, and then I want to chill. I want to be an entrepreneur. I'm coming in the door right now. I didn't have a deal. Nobody wanted to, you know, sign Jay-Z, so we created our own label. So from the very beginning, I'm looking at this as a long-term business venture where I'm going to be the boss, and I'm going to control everything about my music, my content, my distribution. Everything is coming from me. You know what I mean? And he said, my function is to make much and lay back munching. You know, I'm trying to make as much money as I possibly can and retire early so I can enjoy it.
Right.
You feel me?
I do. Yeah. Like I said, I mean, this is one of those songs, man, like, Jay was very clear, very detailed about his situation, about his intent, you know? And he never deviated. I mean, like we were talking about, you know, offline earlier. I mean, you look at Jay's life now. His plan that he laid down, the one he detailed, he's still living that life. He is following it to the T, right? I mean, who knows? It's almost like he knew what he was going to become. He was so intent and so sure and firm in his plans moving forward. And he actually did it. He actually laid it down and followed that path that he decided he's going to live and followed through with it. And look at it.
Right.
Look at him now. He's worth, you know, $500 million. You know what I mean? Married to the biggest star in the world, and, you know, Beyonce.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy.
Oh yeah. I mean, and he tells you later on in that verse what his motto is. It's to stack rocks like Colorado.
Yeah.
So basically, and right before that, he says, "I gotta let you niggas know the time like my motto. My motto: stack rocks like Colorado." So save your money. Again, back to the top of verse 3, my function is to make much and lay back munching. So he said the exact same thing almost, and with a different double entendre to help you as a listener understand how to get this money and how to have long-term success. You got to save your money however you make it. You know what I mean? Because he ain't going to begrudge you if you do want to punch a clock, if you want to be a W-2 hustler, baller on the budget.
Right.
He's not begrudging you. But what he's telling you is stack rocks, save your money, so when you get older, you can retire, you can live life comfortably. And I love when he says, my pops knew exactly what he did when he made me, tried to get a nut, and he got a nut, and what?
He got a nut.
Nuts. Yeah, I mean, basically, he was just looking for some fun, and he just made one of the wildest cats you're ever going to come across.
Yeah, that's actually my favorite line too. I mean, that was crazy right there.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that.